Okay, so I'm finally getting a chance to respond. I've been a little busy with my actual responsibilities, instead of just trolling on TikTok and, deciding to comment on people's posts and attack people for no freaking reason whatsoever. I was going to go ahead and be nice because I feel like people deserve respect even if they are not showing it, but whatever. I already basically was told that I'm threatening based on the fact that somebody apparently needs protection from me based on that video that I made prior to this one, so I'm going to go ahead and respond to you. If anybody is acting like an adult, it would be me. I've been trying to stay out of whatever crap you got going on. This other person doesn't need to be doing this either, but I appreciate their concern and them actually trying to be a kind individual by standing up for me. But it's not necessary because I can stand up for myself. I'm 24 freaking years old, okay? I am a young adult. Now I have 3 kids, so I'm able to be more mature than most 24-year-olds. But let's be completely honest here. I'm not the one who made an assumption based on a video and then had a visceral reaction to it and had to comment versus just being an adult and mature and just scrolling on if I didn't like a video. So let's go ahead and put that out there right now. Again, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm going to be completely honest here. You want somebody to act like an adult? Then I would try doing that. Coming to somebody's profile and sitting here and acting like a teetotal jerk to other people for no reason? I could have done that to your profile, but I haven't even gone and taken the time out of my day to look at your profile. I just saw the name and I immediately was like, not worth my time. I saw the way that you were talking to people and I realized that you weren't worth my time. But I'm taking the time out right now because, again, I don't believe that this is the kind of crap that I want on my profile, on my account. So I could have easily blocked your comments or I could have removed them, but it would have given power to you because you felt like you would have done something, that you would have affected me in some way. You did not. I want to make that very, very clear right now. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me both, and I don't like being an ass based on somebody else doing something that I didn't ask for. Based on that video that I made, the only thing that I was saying was I don't like the 4B movement. The entire premise of the thing I think is stupid. Now, not for South Korea when the women in South Korea were doing it, because I feel like they actually have less rights and less say over what happens in their lives than us women in America. Those women, if anything, are actually oppressed, okay? And on top of that, its proponents refuse to date, get married, have schmecks, or have children with cisgender men or transgender women. Members affirm gender essentialism and oppose transgender rights movements. So first off, I really don't think that the left-wing women who are doing this movement are actually understanding the full extent of what it actually was. Now, yes, I know that the shaving the head part is not part of it, but that wasn't the whole point of my video. I was saying that I didn't like the entire thing. You assumed that I was implying that the entire purpose was shaving your head. That's not at all what it was. Someone else ended up making a comment saying that I didn't know much about it. But truthfully, obviously, I know more than she thought I did, or the person thought I did. I don't want to assume anybody's gender and offend anybody. But I'm not the one who's sitting here having full-blown meltdown over the fact that somebody that I, voted for didn't get elected, and I wouldn't have, even if, let's say, Trump didn't win, which the majority of Americans obviously disagree with Kamala, and they didn't like her, obviously. They thought Trump would be better. So I respect that, even if I didn't like him, right? I'm not going to throw a full-on temper tantrum about it and then start taking from South Korea. That was their movement. Now they're taking it, and they're making it their own. And that's what Americans pretty much always do, right? I was just saying my opinion on how it makes me feel, because all these people are getting on TikTok talking about, having a mental breakdown over how Trump is now president. And how they're going to do this movement, not buy skincare products and not do all these things, not take care of themselves and try to look nice because they want to fight the patriarchy, because they're afraid that their rights are going to get infringed upon or stolen from them. Now, tell me where, in anywhere, shape, or form, that Trump has actually said he's going to do that. The biggest reason why it pisses me off is because not a single person can truly point out in a video or in any kind of writing that Trump actually stated that he was going to infringe upon your rights, take away abortion, do all the things that you claim that he's going to do, and not once can someone point out a specific time that he specifically said that he was going to do that. The only thing I hear is Project 2025. which he has again, and people from his administration have denied and denounced. So what part of Trump being president is so bad? He only has ever mentioned 2 different kinds of abortion restrictions. One was years ago, he mentioned a 15-week federal ban. After 15 weeks, you could not get an abortion. That's what he talked about. Then, he wanted, the only other thing that he's talked about when it comes to abortion rights, is taking it back to the states and not letting it be a federal thing. It is now no longer up to the government to make that decision for you. That's your biggest complaint, right? Is, oh, the government should have no say in what I do with my body. He was happy it was brought back to a state level, because now your state gets to decide what happens and what the laws and regulations are on it. If Trump ever wanted to take it back to a federal level, he would have to cut through so much red tape. He wouldn't want to do that. That's what he wanted. That's what a lot of people did actually want. Because no matter what you try and do, no matter who the president is, it is not going to be something that you can make everybody happy on the abortion topic, because so many people wanted it restricted entirely, so many people wanted it slightly restricted, so many people didn't want it restricted at all. So putting it back in the hands of the states was the best thing you could have possibly done. Make everybody happy. If you don't like the laws in your state, go ahead and move to a different one. And that's okay. That is why I didn't like the 4B movement. The women in South Korea actually had a reason. The women in the United States of America have more privilege and more rights than any other woman in any other country in the entire rest of the world. So realistically, are you that spoiled and are you that naive? Do you not do any critical thinking for yourself and research for yourself to figure out exactly what it is that Trump is going to do with his administration? Or are you just brainwashed into believing this because that's what everybody else is saying? If he were truly a threat, then Biden and Kamala would have made a much bigger deal about it. It would have been a genuine concern. If he was as bad as, then it would not have been able to be done. Over half of America would not have voted for that man. Maybe just try thinking, maybe I missed something. But the majority of these women that are doing the 4B movement are not going to ever do that, and I guarantee it. That is why it bothers me. You don't have to like my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You can scroll on if you don't like it. But stop harassing people. And I will say the same thing to the person that's been commenting to you. Now, I understand that that person's trying to be helpful to me, but there's no reason for it. Now, yes, you have a right to free speech because this is America. Now, I don't know where you're from, so I'm not going to restrict what you say, and I'm not going to cut it off because, again, you have a right to say what you want. But doesn't it say a lot over the fact that you were being the way that you were being, and I was able to actually have a mature, somewhat, I'm going to be completely honest, I wasn't entirely mature. I did get a little heated and a little sarcastic, but I was still respectful. Didn't call you any names. So who's the one not acting like an adult here? But let's stop assuming shit, because I don't like being, an ass just because you make an assumption. Because like I said, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Bye.